Hey there, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. But before I take you to your show, I have a very small request to make. Do check out the other episodes that we have created so far. And as you know, we are available on all major music and podcast streaming apps across the world. So, whichever podcasting platform you're listening to, do hit the follow button and leave us a rating, as that will help us improve our content and reach a wider audience. And with that, welcome to the show.
Hello, dear all the habitants of this planet. Yesterday, on Sunday, all over the globe, we witnessed something that was unbelievable. A young man, a 35-year-old athlete from Argentina, Rosario, just proved the entire world that dreams do come true. There is a fairy tale ending. The entire theory of happy endings just came alive. I'm getting chills, I'm getting goosebumps while I'm saying all of this. But you know what? Whenever the world doubts you, there is a story written for you, for each one of us, for you, me, and everybody who's residing on this earth who came to existence. Because yesterday, on Sunday, Lionel Andres Messi won the World Cup. At the age of 35, he was the player of the tournament. He lifted the World Cup after 36 years in Argentina when Maradona won it and at Mexico. So, yesterday at Doha, at Qatar, the world witnessed the magic of Lionel Andres Messi. This episode is going to be all about praising Messi, the epics that he did in FIFA World Cup. Say that again, mate, is here again.
And with me, I have the champion of podcast, Priyanka Mishra.
And not a football enthusiast because I just I just pulled the energy so low. But I saw so many people putting stories, and of course they were dancing, crying, and of course you were the one who was crying. I could see the gist and the energy which was going on. I hope everyone everyone had a great time. I mean, I can totally feel it when you have
Priya,
such
let me. Yeah,
conviction and yeah, such love for a game, and it doesn't it just becomes a part of you. It's like irrespective of the fact that you were watching it on television, it feels like you were there, you witnessed it. It's similar to like Sachin and what Indians have towards him. I can see
exactly.
what yeah.
This is what a complete career looks like. You finish off your career at this note. It means that you have just like, this is like a complete, you can say, a life. People keep doing stuffs that they don't like. And this is the definition of a career. This is how, like I said in the opening remarks, where I talked about the reality that looked like a fairy tale. It all proves that these things exist. And no matter, Priya, if you're not a football fan, you have never watched football,
Yeah,
but
but I do appreciate
irrespective of
all.
it,
Yeah,
you know who Messi is. The
yeah,
young,
man.
every young
Who
boy
doesn't?
in the globe, every person of all ages today know who Lionel Messi is.
But he always wanted to play football, right?
At that young age, I mean, okay, fine. Like we talked about Sachin, he was a gifted, with technique and everything. Same thing is with Messi. Exactly similar thing is with Messi. He was gifted, he had those skills and everything right when he was like a 4-year old kid. And those things, you know, and do you know what? He was once offered the citizenship of Spain because he used to play in Spanish leagues. And one of the Spanish leagues, FC Barcelona, like dealt with his issues in terms of medical issues. They offered him all the help. They brought him. They trained him. They
Hmm.
He played for Barcelona for like 15, 16 years. They offered him the citizenship of Spain so that he could play for the Spanish national team. He didn't accept it. He said that the offer that they made was irresistible. But I where I was born, and I wanted to win it for them. So these are the things, these are the stories that at the end of the day, you as a human being, forget football. I think the half of the world's population is who watched the yesterday's match. They don't watch all the leagues happening in the world. They don't follow all the players careers and all of all the football that happens around the year. But the FIFA World Cup, when you say this to someone that, okay, Argentina is in the finals, and Messi, who has been trying it so hard, he has always been a great player, greatest of all time, legend and everything. But there was always a thing not win a World Cup for his country, just like
Yeah.
Maradona did,
Okay.
just like Pele
So
did.
quickly, tell me three. Of course, it's gonna be hard, but three things which inspires you or you love the most about this player, Messi, of course. But other than that, if there is another player which you admire, because I know how much you love watching football and also playing the sport. So yeah, just name three things which deeply
About
inspired you
Messi.
and you. Yeah.
Okay, about Messi, I'll tell you. He's one of the most humblest players. You'll never see him fight on the ground. Never.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very beautiful moment, in the semifinals when Argentina were, sorry, not in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals when Argentina were, the match went down to penalty shootouts, and their goalkeeper, the Argentine goalkeeper, he saved like a couple of penalties. And when the moment Argentina hit the winning penalty, the entire team ran towards the striker who struck the winning goal. Only Messi ran towards the goalkeeper because he knew how important those saves were that the goalkeeper did. So
Yeah.
these little things, and when we talk about like every uh, any player who win a FIFA World Cup, for cricketers, it's a dream to like win the World Cup, right? There's nothing above that. Where does cricket go from there? Where does football go from there if you have won the World Cup? Hence, like since the beginning of this entire FIFA World Cup tournament, I had this in my mind. Just like the fate was written for Sachin Tendulkar, the greatest of all time cannot retire without a World Cup in his hands. We won it. He received the World Cup. He kissed the World Cup in 2011 in his last World Cup. Just like that, I thought a person who has done everything, people say that he's not a human, he's an alien. He would have left for his planet already. If for that always a dream to win a FIFA World Cup, it had to happen this time where he's announced that this is going to be his last World Cup. And fortunately, everything happened like right in place for this guy to get it done for himself, for his country. Every tweet, every post on Instagram, everything that you read, people congratulating Argentina, they're mentioning Messi with a comma next to Argentina.
Hmm.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Argentina and Messi.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew how important it was for Messi and the way he performed in this World Cup. There's so many, I can just go on and on. It's uncountable.
Yeah, I can see.
Uncountable instances where he has just proved that he's not a human, or he's such a humble sports person, such a humble human being in general. Nothing against the other great players of this game. Cristiano Ronaldo, amazing player, superb athlete, looks like an Olympic champion. Messi, he looks like a boy next door. He looks like, anyone in your family who just goes out and performs like a god. That's what I love about him. That's why,
Okay.
back in 2014, again, there was a final between Argentina and Germany. I beg your pardon. Argentina and Germany. It was again in the extra time, and Argentina lost 1-0. I thought, okay, this is not it. He will come back. This is gonna happen again. And this fairy tale, this completion of the circle will happen sometime. And it did. So this is what I was so amazed. I was speaking to your sister yesterday and I said that how long does it take for a man to achieve his dreams? And she told forever. But it happened yesterday. The dream was achieved.
Hmm.
And what a match.
And
What
what a match, yeah. What a wonderful way to, of course, pave the way through. And through the, I guess this was his last match, like last
last World Cup match.
World Cup, na? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
last World Cup match. So
Brilliant.
all the listeners, I think they can totally resonate to what I'm saying. Everybody in the Messi jerseys, in the Messi t-shirts. You know what? Adidas officially said the statement that Messi across the world.
Mm-hmm.
This was an official statement by Adidas that the official merchandise of Argentina is sold out
Wow.
across.
Did you sleep well last night? Did you sleep well last night?
I did. I did. I did. I watched the funniest part. I watched the match at an airport lounge because I had a flight to catch, and in the lounge, like I think it was 60-40. 60% of the people were supporting Argentina. 40% were supporting France. And
Hmm.
in the game, it was numb. It was dead silence, and eventually, when Argentina won, I was jumping. I took off my t-shirt right in the lounge. Everybody was looking at me. They recorded me doing that. And I was like, damn it, I'm so sorry. You can throw me out of
I
it.
thought people, it's normal there. Like people are
I mean,
used
not at
to
airport
such
lounges.
activity.
Not at
Yeah,
airport
that
lounges.
that's an extreme step. Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
that was something. But what a feeling, what a moment. Everything just happened to be in place. It just looked like it was destined. Messi was destined to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying this maybe for the fifth time. This is what a complete career looks like.
It's now bow down podcast to Messi, the legend,
Of
the
course.
living
Of
legend.
course. All right. That's
Okay.
that's it about
Yeah,
FIFA. Because it's never gonna end. This episode will just finish we talking about FIFA World Cup and Messi.
I'm very
Yeah, tell me.
good. Also, I was just saying, let me surprise you more. I got one beautiful feedback from one of my um, roommates who's now married. Of course, she's not living with me, but then she texted me after so many months, and she said, "This is what she calls me by my surname, uh, just like everyone." Most of office people used to call me like this, and she said, Mishra, your I just heard your podcast and there's this episode, and she even mentioned that please do discuss about long distance relationship, and I loved your podcast, and please do post more content. Congratulations of course the way we succeeded in grasping so many audiences. So yeah, I was so happy. I was so overwhelmed with the reaction she gave. It's been months since we talked, and then I thought of saving this content to share this on podcast with you. So yeah,
Thanks.
you
Thank
have
you.
met Gattu, right? You have met Gattu.
Of course, thank you, Gattu, for your amazing feedback because these things just like push us to keep doing more and more because we are already, doing our bit. We try to make every episode better than the last one. And of course, should we talk about long distance relationship is what she
I think
suggested, right?
we should.
You start with
She
what's your
Yeah.
take on it?
Oh well, I should I should start on this.
Yes.
Okay. I can, all I can say is it's hard, of course, and I can see why people reject, and they they completely deny the fact that they're going to go for such kind of step further, because they themselves create a barrier, and then they say we are not going to proceed further, I'm sorry, uh, yahi tak tha jo tha, sorry, bye bye, take care. And I've seen people doing that. But uh, as a person who has closely witnessed and experienced such circumstances, I would say it depends. Again, it depends. I've seen some situations and experienced some situations where things didn't work out. But then again, now I'm mature enough to understand few things where things might go wrong and what needs to be addressed, because there is a lot of, you know, uh, thought process behind, because we are not physically close to each other, not living nearby. So timing issues, and you might not have similar friends around you. The set of friends here are different, the set of friends there are different, the career choices are different. And then of course that person is going to be surrounded by their set of people. So there is always chaos happening, in short. But then
I
there is
totally,
one thing constant. Yeah.
I totally agree to what you're saying. A lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, a lot of doubts in mind. If this is gonna work, if it's not gonna work, should we continue? Should we not? But you know
Yeah.
what, Priya? Uh, if you want, it will happen. If you want it to continue, it will happen. No questions asked. It's just that there's this very important concept of loyalty is what we always think about. We expect, we want this from the other person. It could be just a friend, not a romantic relationship or anything, just a friend. These things, if you are not insecure about anything, there's nothing to worry in this world. Let me put this out. If you're Let me tell you this one very um, an incident from a friend's life. Okay, the other day he was really very skeptical about posing for a picture without a t-shirt, saying
Mm.
that okay, I have a tummy, I don't have a like physique where I can look at the
Pull
camera
a
without
picture
you
of,
know
yes. Mm-hmm.
pull off a picture without a t-shirt, without a top. And what I said to him was, who cares? Why are you so insecure about this look? Why is this defined that okay, you need to have abs, you need to look a certain way, you need to look like this, like a Instagram model, before you take off your t-shirt and click a picture? Who is judging this? Are you in a competition? No, you're not. If you feel like doing it, you do it. End of it. That insecurity about about the five people who you think would comment back saying, oh, it's like you have a tummy, you don't have abs. Nobody. Just get, they don't matter. In few days and few weeks you won't even talk to them. They have zero impact in your lives, right? It's
Yeah.
just you and your happiness and your mental strength and your security for yourself is what matters. Just like that, in a long distance relationship, what I feel is, the moment you are insecure, everything falls apart. Even if the other person is loyal, even if the other person is doing like putting in 500% to make this work, but the moment you're insecure, it just goes out of the window. So for me, I think loyalty and security is what would, because it's all in the head, Priya, right? It's all in the head. When you start thinking like, okay, in a long distance relationship, the other person would be cheating on me, even if he's not, but that hint of doubt has gotten into your system. So
Okay.
that turns out to be toxic, and it
Mm,
destroys.
no, quite debatable, because I understand where the insecurity comes from, but again, the communication has like improved if the communication has improved between these people, then these things might, reckon, or they might diminish to some extent. I say this with personal experience because I've learned to express more. By this I mean, if the significant other is doing something which I don't feel is appropriate, or it's hurting my feeling, and we tend to hide it. We tend to
True.
hide it by not by just throwing tantrum, or just taunting them in a certain way, which is of course not pleasant. and of, and again, you are in a long distance relationship, so there is lesser time to communicate, and in that time you are investing it by uh, you know uh, doing a filthy talk, like, yeah, you go now, you go have fun. Go to the root cause and just talk whatever is inside you which is troubling you, even if it is an insecurity. For example, if
True.
you are
True.
not feeling that you were not happy watching something, or you were not okay with that person saying something which is related to you, etc., then say directly, try to communicate, try to be explicit about it while talking to them, because there is already lesser time to communicate. So invest that mindfully. I learned this lately, and then of course it resolved so many issues, because even my deepest insecurities, I opened it in front of that person,
Mhm.
to say it out loud, that uh, yesterday you said these things, and then of course we slept after that. So didn't felt like saying that because I was mad at you, but now that am in my conscious mind, I can explain this to you, that this is not right, what came out of your mouth yesterday. It's not right. I mean, it doesn't feel okay. So, and
I think
this
that's
way, yeah,
maturity, Priya. That's
yeah,
called
yeah,
maturity.
it'll take time, guys, it'll take time. But whenever you try to communicate, even with your siblings, I've experienced that. The moment I'm experienced by the people experience long distance relationship with their siblings and parents as well. But if they are not communicating whatever they are feeling like, मम्मी मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा, आपने कल कैसे बात की, मुझे नहीं अच्छा लगा, this way you will untangle the very stupid and very, like, unimportant things, which will make you realize that these things are really small. So get over it by actually saying it out loud. When you say it out loud, you feel, oh, kitni choti baat thi, it was so tiny to even think of
Right.
it.
Right.
It doesn't matter, that person loves you, that person cares about you. तो ये सारी बातें बहुत, it feels very tiny at that time. So this comes with maturity, of course, and then it's insecure. Discussing about your insecurity also helps. That's what I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
open it out. Like, feel free to discuss about it. That
So
I'm
basically,
I'm
it's the
actually
communication. It's a
correct.
communication. So
Correct.
in like you rightly mentioned, when we are physically close to each other, we look at each other's body language, even if we are not talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a kind of communication, right? Body language is a communication. But when you are at a long distance, you can only talk on audio or video
Phone
call.
calls, or yeah, messages or something. Yeah.
A lot of from you. You won't be able to experience, and that's natural. So communication in every other form is what you like, what you don't like, what are you insecure about. And believe me, like the things that are impacting you today won't even matter in next 7 days. You'll think it through, and you'll, like you rightly mentioned, you'll eventually feel that it was such a small thing. It was such a small thing
Hmm.
in this huge relationship, in this huge commitment that I have from this person, with this person.
Yeah. You will
Right. So
eliminate the egoism part. You will consciously take a decision for yourself that let's just not let's just not pull it. Let's just end it here. That's a frivolous thing to even talk about. So that maturity comes, of course, by I mean, when you're in it and you experience it, that's why I completely support when people start dating early. By early, I don't mean in school or something, but then when they are like mature enough to, human interaction, they are aware of it, that what
I
consequences
Yeah,
might happen.
I
Hmm.
agree to it. I absolutely agree to it. There's another thing that I would like to mention is, um it's like you said, you appreciate when people start dating early. I appreciate when the maturity hits in early. You know,
That
you
will come by dating, I'm telling you. I am telling
yeah,
you.
with the
Yeah,
experiences.
correct,
With the
correct.
experiences. Of course, you are the experienced one on this podcast talking about dating and
No, no,
relationships and
no.
long
We
distance.
should not. We should not put this sheet between your past, because let's just say, I mean, it might be evident, but then you also have experienced how interaction has helped you become this person which you are. You have
Interaction with
become some.
friends.
Yeah,
Interaction with
correct.
friends. For
Also with
me,
opposite genders as well, I would
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for me, the case is like when I move to a different city or a different country right now, I don't have anyone here, right? I don't
Yeah.
like, of course, you don't make friends on the very first day. Eventually, that happens over the time you spend here. So now I've got a few people, but do you really believe that you can speak your heart out to someone like that whom you have met? So you turn back to your old friends. And at this point, just audio and video calls is what you have got. And keeping those friends together from this distance, or your friends keeping you close from that distance, is something I really appreciate and I love, and I cherish it for my life. I would do that because it actually needs commitment. You are nearly 12 and a half hours on the opposite side of the world, but still you find out the right time to maybe have a 15-minute conversation once in a week. That's all you need. That's all you need. See, Priya, we have talked about this in this podcast a lot of times, that people just want to be heard, right?
Yeah.
They just
Also,
want to be heard.
Bhaiya, what happened last week? One of my undergrad friend, she called. She's
Mhm.
not married, and she has a kid. She's blessed with a beautiful kid, and she is, of course, occupied most of the time. So I'm also now quite occupied with office and then getting back to other work. This happens. Eventually, this happens. This is some untold, you know, heavy-hearted situation which comes between friends, where we lose contacts, uh, and it's inevitable. We cannot. We don't have control to some extent. But then, if you get a chance to, communicate or call or via status or stories, if someone sees your picture and she says, this dress of yours reminded me of that time when you wore the same
Right.
color, and this thing happened, and then you recall something and then you share openly. Even that filter develops within years between close friends. Close friends, as in who used to be close, and then some situation happened, and then they stopped sharing these things.
Yeah,
These
with
small
time.
little details really fills the gap, and it really flourishes the friendship. I tell you, tell you why. She called me, and then hak se, with all authority she holds, she said, you forgot me. Uh, are you that busy? And then, of course, I was busy at that time, but then I picked up the call, and then I said, it's not like that, pagal hai kya? And then I instantly gave some context from the past, where she did something. For example, she was a potato enthusiast. She used to love everything related to potato. So then I made some joke about it, कि सब पोटैटो थोड़ी होते हैं, सबको थोड़ी, you'll keep by your side or something like that, I said, just to make her laugh and forget that, she's somewhere mad at me that I didn't call, and she was the one who initiated the call. So she forgot that what was the reason behind that, the way she called, and she was angry. She forgot, and then we started talking. We started talking about life. We started talking about, normal, what's happening in my career and everything. We started about talking about that. So
You always have those moments, when
correct.
the moment you recall it, it's back to square one. You are back
This
to normal.
always helps. This always helps. I'm telling you. So even if you get, there are times when you instantly, you're passing some way. You're going to your office and you see something, it reminds you of a person. Any music reminds reminds you of a person who dedicated this to you. For example, sometimes you send me some beautiful compositions, and that thing reminds me of you, and I instantly message you back that, "Can I just saw this thing, and
Yeah,
it reminded me of this thing."
it
This is
reminds
how
of a
we
memory,
connect.
right? It
Yeah,
reminds of a memory. Everything left, right, or center is about a memory. It puts a smile straight on your face. And
it
Priya,
keeps the other person close. Yeah.
I also want to talk about this another aspect of a long distance relationship. We, I mean, I work in a corporate industry. I've seen people, even husbands and wives in that matter, married people living far from each other because of their career choices or some issues, like someone is settled abroad while the other person couldn't get a dependent visa, or maybe both of them are in different countries or in different cities in the same country, right? That's
Mhm.
quite possible. But even those things, or that particular relationship, that married relationship works. It works on the basis of the trust. It works on the you know on the only aspect that, okay, wherever this person is, I'm going to be the first one he reaches out or she reaches out to for any small little thing
Mhm.
in his or her life. And these things keep them together. These things keep this, like, this hold. These things, like, you're
True.
entangled to each other, right? Just like a thread. Maybe you are in different cities, different countries, but of course these things are working. So um, let's wrap this topic saying that, okay, long distance relationship, from my take, absolutely personal take, is it will work if you are secure, if you are loyal, and if you trust the other person. It won't work the moment you start feeling that you're not heard, the communication isn't clear, or there's a sense of insecurity, or you actually believe that, okay, the other person is not loyal. So that's what my take is.
Yeah. True. Agree. Completely agree.
Sure. Shall we move on to the next topic? We have got some interesting ones, I've heard.
Yeah. So, of course, inflation and everything is around the corner, and we did talked about the, current situation. But then there is one thing which got my attention. The thing is, people are not talking about career cushioning, and that freaked me out. I was like, firstly, I'm struggling to put my career first. Now you are talking about career cushioning. You have come up with another career which you have to somewhere to some extent excel in it, in order to put yourself in a financial condition where you are able to cope up with the inflation happening. So I was like, what is this? Can't we just keep our hobbies as it is? Why is it necessary to put this burden on it? So that's
And
another
it's
thing.
just not
They are
ending.
saying upgraded. Yeah, and evolution is tough, guys. There was this thought in my head. Why is evolution becoming so tough? Every day you have to upgrade yourself. Guys, come on, keep moving. This skill set, blah blah skill set, this certification, blah blah certification, and this is constantly happening around me, and of course all of us. But then then people, intellectuals, come up with this statement that, guys, can we chill, take a break? No. There is no,
And
who's gonna tell us?
you know what, from where this, like, cushioning, career cushioning thing is borrowed, this term is borrowed, it's like from a, it's a domain of romantic relationships, right? where cushioning is like a dating strategy where a person, entertains other options just to
Oh,
soften the potential blow of like a possible breakup.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's where cushioning happens in a like a romantic relationship.
It's like
And
we were on a break thing.
yeah, and
Just,
just that came to this career thing, simply put.
yes,
So you,
yes.
just to add more security to your professional life, you're preparing for the unexpected, because of course you know what's happening in the world right now. No one's, none of the jobs are safe at this point, I would say. You have to be either really good at it, or you
Yeah,
really need
correct.
to have good connections or something, or you need to know your work, so that even if you are like laid off, I'm sorry, uh, you shouldn't be, but even if like worst case, unfortunately, if you're laid off, you need to know your job, so that good that you can easily find a new one. And that's where cushioning is happening. So be prepared for it. And I know, Priya, at this age the transition is so difficult, so
Yeah,
difficult.
man.
Imagine like, uh, our age we are talking about, it's difficult. Imagine someone who's like already 15, 16, 20 years into the industry, the kind of pressure they would be going through, you know in order to
Yeah,
upgrade.
maybe we
Imagine,
are new. Maybe we are new to
yeah,
this.
doing this in your late 30s, early 40s. If this thing comes to your mind, this thing comes to your plate, you'll be like, damn it, I want to take care of my family, my kids, and things around that. I want to enjoy my 30s, I mean late 30s and 40s, like
Mhm.
anything. But right now, I need to focus on my career. Focusing on your career was supposed to be the first 5, 7, 8, 10 years of your career. Was like, you need to evolve, you need to keep learning, you need to
Experiment,
do
upgrade, and then
experiment.
hmm,
Exactly, keep shifting, so that at the end of 10 years you are settled. Now is the time to perhaps develop a family.
splurge.
Mm,
Yeah.
exactly, relax on weekends, not go for like certification classes. I just don't want to do that, Priya.
Yeah, I'm just 26 and I'm currently thinking of my retirement plans. I was like, I just want to get retired. Well, I'm currently planning for it. I have to, of course, pace up with the current situation. It's all fine. Okay. I am capable of handling such, you know, overwhelming yet uh, daunting experience of upgrading my skill set all the time. It's fine. I can do that. But then promise me that after a few years it's gonna stop, or I'm not saying it's gonna stop. People should always learn, should always be open to new ideas and everything. But that creativity comes with a cost to some extent, because to maintain that lifestyle I need to have that money, to have that relaxation in my head, and
True.
actually the leisure time which I'm gonna spend, I should be able to do that without thinking of my bank balance, straight away putting that. Okay, so because it's real drama happening. So yeah, since this career cushioning thing scheme, or like the not scheme, but yeah, people are talking about it, especially in USA. So I was like, okay, the education is costly, and then of course the certification requires again investment of money,
Mhm.
and now you are saying that you're gonna take away our job, which we gave so many interviews for, and then you're saying ये छोड़ो, अरे नया वाला ढूंढो, कुछ नया है आपके पास
Exactly,
कुछ न्यू है.
it's never ending, man. It's just never ending. I hope this all of this gets stable at some point, and
I really
just like
hope, bhaiya, I really
old
hope.
times, people used to join a factory and they used to retire.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. You remember we talked about the story where this man worked for one company for more than thirty
yeah, the
35 years.
moonlighting
Yeah.
episode.
Yes. So
Yeah,
he was happy and satisfied. It's fine. And if a person is satisfied with switching a career constantly, for example, let's just take Tanmay Bhatt, he, he regenerates himself and he's happy doing that. Of course, there must be some anxiety happening every day, but then it keeps him going.
that's also fine.
But not
That's also
everyone is,
fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course,
It
that's
worked
fine.
for him. It worked for
Correct.
him. The other way around could work for the other person. Like we talked about in the moonlighting a 9 to 5 job, that episode. I remember that if a 9 to 5 works for you, it works for you.
Correct.
End of story. If it doesn't, you need to explore, invent, and do other things. If that's working for you, whatever works. That's the end of this debate. Like this is better, this is not. We are not gonna decide that.
Nobody's gonna, nobody knows what's good, what's
Yeah,
bad, and yeah,
I mean, not
that's
everyone can quit their jobs at 20s and start an enterprise, expecting that in next 10 years it could be like $1 billion industry. Who knows? If what I'm doing right now is helping me to pay my bills, taking care of my family and everything,
who knows.
I would
Correct.
better want to do this, continue doing this. Whereas someone on the other side has that, uh, you know, um, you can say courage to take it off from one profession to another, like within years, and develop something new at their own cost, at their at their efforts. We totally appreciate that. And if that's working for you, great. We have one such episode with Mukul where he talks about he works in a corporate and then he moves um, to start something of his own because he always wanted to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had plans for it to execute the way he wanted it to, and he's doing great in what he's started. So I mean, that worked for him. Just
Speaking of
yeah.
startups and everything, Picture season 2 is gonna come soon. I'm so
Oh,
excited. Yeah.
so let me first give a heads up to everybody. So all our international listeners, international audience who are not from India, just go to YouTube and type pictures, Pitchers, pictures, just like you order beer. Pictures season 1 it talks everything about how to start a startup, how to get the funding, how to form a team, develop an idea. It was one of the most watched serials in India. The season 2 is about to
Actually,
come.
one of
Now,
the
Priya,
yeah, yeah.
you talk about it. Yeah,
I was
because
just
you are so
saying.
excited about it.
I was just saying it's the one of the initial web series which got such fame. Also, one of the initial web series which gained, I mean, of course, attention and all, but came in this platform under OTT. So TVF, of course, is a, they say they are underdogs, and it's it's close to me because Bhaiya, uh, among these four people, all four of them are having their separate individual struggles. One is juggling with uh, rishtas and what is that, marriage proposal thing. One is juggling with already established company. One is juggling with his father, and he's married, and he has this very value adding employee tag within him. And then the fourth one, of course, the CEO, Naveen, played by Naveen himself. The guy's name is Naveen in real life too. So how they, of course, also, uh, there is one scene. There's one beautiful scene in Pictures where he has to part ways with his girlfriend, and I almost cried because
Oh,
she was understanding of she said she gave her credit card, and of course by because she loved him enough to let him go. It was that kind of situation, and the level of maturity hit me hard because Naveen started crying in that scene, and then he says one line that मैंने अपने करियर के लिए सब कुछ सैक्रिफाइस किया, अपने स्टार्टअप के लिए सब कुछ सैक्रिफाइस किया, बट मुझे तुम्हें सैक्रिफाइस करना पड़ेगा, ये बहुत toughest डिसीजन था. So I'm not gonna like degrade the beauty of this beautiful dialogue. by translating in English. Please, guys, watch because it's already translated and everything. But it's just how it connected to laymen. That's the importance of TV pictures. And I almost
So true.
cried when season 2 announcement happened. So it's one of the closest uh, web series to me.
I mean, and it
Yeah.
also gives you the essence of, hard work. It gives you the feeling that, the accomplishment when you actually work towards a dream and it eventually gets fulfilled. Just like Messi's. Wow, what a circle
What
of
a rap!
today's episode.
What a rap!
What a wrap. We should end it here. We should end it just like Messi's career
Like every,
started
yeah.
started from the scratch, ended with a
Started
World
from the
Cup.
bottom. Now we're here. Yeah.
It's just like everybody else's in this world. That's how we start. That's how we should end. And it will happen that way. End of story. That's the
Yeah.
podcast.
Such a wholesome episode, by the way, Bhaiya. I really,
Wow. Loved
really
it.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
And I
I
hope
hope
all
you're
our
doing
listeners
well,
like it.
first of all.
I
Bhaiya, I
I
hope you're
am.
doing well. Yeah.
I am. And I
Yeah.
hope that our listeners would totally resonate to what we have said, what we have talked about in today's episode. Because it's not something specific to an individual. We are talking to a billion people who have the similar kind of lives, right? Who start from somewhere and go somewhere. And that's life. That's it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for listening to today's episode. This was supposed to be a more emotional episode talking about, the start of someone's career. Or I won't say just career, just life. That's life. That's dream. You start somewhere, you dream of something, and the dream gets fulfilled. That's called fairy tale. That's called destiny. And this
Oh,
episode is all about that. This podcast is called Say That Again, Mate. And with me, I had Priyanka Mishra, like always. Not like always. Sometimes you miss the show.
I was gonna say I'm not I'm not constant these days, but
but
yep, trying my
but the
best.
promise is she'll be content constant, and because I just feel so empty without her on the episodes. And yeah,
Oh
that's
my.
it for today. And you know the
Bye,
drills.
guys.
Follow, subscribe, do whatever. We have it everything listed in the description. And see you
Yeah.
again next week. Bye
Do
bye.
write us, guys. I'm hoping to get some messages, beautiful or not, but just some messages and some exciting queries.
Come on, I'll write
Even
to
if
you.
questions. Yeah.
I'll write to
I,
you.
I'll be very happy. Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye bye.
Hey there, thanks for listening to the podcast. Just in case you liked the episode, do leave us a rating and follow us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to. It'll be of great help if you share the podcast with your friends and tell them what podcast you're consuming. And you can also send us your questions, suggestions, feedbacks, and AMAs at pleasesaythatagainmate@gmail.com, or you can DM us on our Instagram. Our handles are there in the description of the show. And with that, I'll take your leave and see you again next week.